News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
Everybody said I was crazy. Everybody said I was being Chicken Little. Everybody said it wasn't going to happen and I was just being hysterical. But guess what? Trick-or-treating is banned in Los Angeles County this year. Yeah. Door-to-door trick-or-treating not allowed. That's according to the county's health department. And I'll tell you what else isn't allowed, because it's not just trick-or-treating. They said that they want you to celebrate safely. So no trick-or-treating, door-to-door. No, I forgot what they were calling, but like car-to-car trick-or-treating.
Trunk-or-treating.
Thank you.
Trunk-or-treating.
Trunk-or-treating.
Sounds like the
no
worst
haunted houses.
gay bar ever.
No parties. And if you're going to have a party, please just have a party with whoever already lives in your house. They also recommend fun things like an online costume party.
By the way, worst people ever to party with, people that already live in your house. They're all at the fucking bottom of my list of people I want to hang with. My whole part of the party. For me, a party's to get away from the fucking people who live in my house. That's why I want to go to a party. You're flying in the face of a party.
The point of the party.
The point of the party is to talk to people outside of my house.
That's right.
I was reading the fucking mandate, and the mandate, it's like, it's so insulting when they give you the stuff you can do, like no leaving the house, no trick-or-treating, no part of it. And then they're like, but you could stay home and watch a movie. It's like, no shit, Your Honor. Thank you for granting me the permission to watch Halloween 3 at fucking home. Or you could do an online. But yes, I understood. It's more insulting when you're telling me what I can't. It's a weird thing because I don't know why, but here's what you're not allowed to do is insulting, and it feels like overreach, but it's more insulting and more overreach when they go, but here's what I'm going to let you do.
Yep.
Do you like Jiffy Pop popcorn? Good.
Okay.
We're in business. Yes, I understand. I can stay at home and dress up like the Tin Man. I get it.
They did the same thing.
Jesus Christ.
They did the same thing about the beach. You can't stop. You can't sunbathe. You can't cook. You can throw an American football.
Right. Yeah, the American.
Specifically. It's insane. What else you can do is you can have a Halloween-themed meal at your house. Oh. You can go to a Halloween art installation if it's outside, and you can decorate your own backyard.
How about I lay on my back and think about what a dick you are? Could I do that, Garcetti? Also, I tweeted out, but it makes sense. What if we all just dressed as surgeons? Could we then go out with full protection and masks and gear?
Beekeepers.
I'm also
sexy OR nurse.
I'm trying to kind of think, like, what is... Well, first off, it'll be October 31st, right? Mm-hmm. But so it'll be a little ways from now. And it seems like when I look at the map on CNN, California is green. It's not red or whatever. It's all green now. So it's in the, like...
Green?
The map...
We're not supposed to have green on there. Newsom specifically said no green.
CNN has their like map of the United States, and it'll be like Arizona will be red, but California's green, but Oregon's green. Like it's like green is the good color, I guess, in the CNN map that I look at in the morning. And so I'm like, well, I think we're doing pretty good. Also, as someone who was just in Malibu for 3 days and literally just drove the entire PCH coast, I can tell you that when the temperature cracked 119 in the San Fernando Valley, everybody in that San Fernando Valley just drove right over the canyon, right through Topanga Canyon, and just landed at Will Rogers Beach. I mean, as I drove down PCH, it was throngs of humanity and no social distancing. I didn't see a lot of masks. So we did that. We'll see what comes of that. But the trick-or-treating process is, it's like you and your kids and your wife, the husband, whatever. Like, you already have your group.
Yep.
Then you're out walking around. Now, you are passing other people, but we're doing not more so than in a Trader Joe's, I guess.
Right. And you're not eating the package that the candy comes in.
Right. And then you show up and you knock on the door, and somebody wearing a mask. You know, we wear a mask. It's Halloween, but they're wearing a mask, and they drop your Reese's Pieces in your bucket, and you turn around and leave. It just feels pretty low impact compared to what was going on the beach and and the bike path this last weekend.
And you know what? If you think of it in like Bizarro Land, if say Halloween was something where everybody got together in a big gymnasium for a party, trick-or-treating would be the alternate. You can't do that, but you can go house to house and they can give you the candy and you can leave.
Yeah, the process feels pretty spread out and pretty outdoors to me.
That's what trick-or-treating is.
I would.
You remember when the first people, the beaches first opened and the rule was you can't lay out.
Right.
It's like, all right, well, that doesn't make any sense because you're still outdoors and you can still be away from people. Like, all we want is like sensible regulations that add up in everyone's mind. You know what I mean? Like you said, the aforementioned, hey, if your Halloween costume includes a mask, feel free. Someone can just drop that thing in there and you can, be on your way.
Well, I think what Brian's talking about is what we're looking for in life is a sense of, I've given this some consideration, and I'm not going to just make a sort of sweeping decree. We all kind of remember being kids, and the school teacher would say, they'd have some rule that'd be like, no sitting here or no doing that. And you'd always go, well, no sitting there because it was too crowded during lunch, but during my free period, couldn't I just sit here? Like, no sitting there. Like, they had these dumb rules, and what we want is nuance. So what we want from the people in charge, so we want them to go, well, we don't like the idea of a Halloween party because that means a large group of people gathering in a small area, and I think I do. But we talked about trick-or-treating, and we decided that in groups smaller than 8, spread out over whatever, that seems fine. And that seems nuanced. They're like, we don't like the idea of a big Raging Waters type pool party for spring break. But if you want to go to the beach, you want to lay your towel out 6 foot away from your neighbor's towel, then we don't see. So that suggests you're thinking about it, right? That's nuance. That's like that's what you're looking for out of life. Like when your kid says, can I have a cupcake at noon? You go, no, it's noon. But if they ask for a cupcake at noon on their birthday, then you go, well, okay, yeah, it seems like your birthday. You could do that. Or you just got back from a long hike. You worked out. I guess you could have a cupcake. Like just the massage, the nuance, what makes human beings, and what you're looking for out of a cop, out of a principal, out of a governor. You know what I mean? You can get pulled over for speeding, and you can get pulled over speeding because you're trying to haul ass to get to Vegas before the strip club's closed. And you can get pulled over for speeding because you got a text from your wife saying your kid's running a temp and needs to go to the emergency room and she's got to stay home with the baby. And you can show the cop that text, and that cop can be a human being. A cop can go, okay, I get this situation.
You're absolutely right. And they can't pretend that they don't care about details because there's so many damn details in this tier system. Professionals can't figure it out. This color coding tier system, it can be 25 to 47% of the maximum, capacity. It's like they're mired in details. They love details. So this shouldn't be too far.
I agree. And I don't, at least according to Dr. Drew, I don't think we're ever going to clear the bar according to the color system for when it's safe to reopen.
Well, that's why when you said green, I was thinking of the LA County because there is no green.
No,
there's no green.
It's the map they have on CNN every morning, and California seems to be doing pretty well, at least according to the map. I don't know what I think green is good. Obviously, red is bad. CNN map of the United States, COVID map or whatever, Max is probably somewhere.
I'm just saying somewhere. In contrast, the nation might see us as okay, but Newsom never will. Mm-hmm. It's not even in the color tiered system. No, I don't. I think Newsom's thinking about a run at the presidency, and I don't know why this is I don't know why this helps, but somehow it does. I don't know why this is a good thing. I don't assume he's thinking solely about numbers and hospitals and flattening curves. I think there's probably a bigger, grander scheme to this, but I don't know what it is. But every time I ask Mike August what this is, he's like, oh, he's got his eyes on the national stage. And I'm like, so now America gets the world's worst governor? Like, why is that enticing? Because he's taking this seriously, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the real story is, but I do feel like
Los Angeles and L.A. and California, I think we're more locked down than any other state, any other city in the United States right now. New York's more open than we are, so I think, although there are restaurants, you still have to eat outside. All right, what else we got, Gina Grad?
Oh, Ellen. So we already know that the people who worked with her aren't happy, but now it's the people who work for her at home that aren't happy. And she's going to return to the airwaves toot sweet, and she says she's going to address all the controversy. But I got to tell you about the latest controversy. It's pretty comical. So somebody talked to the Daily Mail. Some staffer of hers or former staffer of hers, that she's been tormenting her household staffers. She takes pleasure in firing them. Before that, she's been accused of being mean to guests and creating the toxic work environment Ellen DeGeneres ran her household, it says, like a military-style boot camp, barking orders, tormenting employees over tiny errors, taking pleasure in firing them. This is all according to a former staffer. Life behind the scenes at her house was every bit as traumatic as the alleged toxic work culture on the show. Workers were hit with an itemized daily list of gripes, from serving food in the wrong bowl, leaving the salt shaker in the wrong place, or failing to ensure DeGeneres' latte was frothed the way she likes it. This is my favorite part. Nitpicking DeGeneres even laid traps before she left for work, strategically leaning matchsticks behind cupboard doors and cushions to test if the cleaners were dusting every square inch of her residence. Employees rarely lasted more than a few months, and on occasion, a household manager was fired just 2 hours into the job.
Well, she definitely has that sort of perfectionism and whatever you want to call it, hypervigilance, what I have. You sort of notice everything and everything kind of bumps you. On the other hand, you have to understand there is a reason why this person is available to mop your bathroom floor well into their 40s at $19 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, you have to just... Sometimes you want the best and the brightest, but the best and the brightest aren't going to be working inside your house for $19 an hour in their mid-40s, you know?
Yeah, so they may be otherwise engaged.
You have to kind of understand you're not going to get the sharpest bit in the index. I think I went full workshop there. But the point, my point is this. But then there's a kind of a balance. I'm trying to think of me being tyrannical with people who work for me. I will say this. Now, you guys tell me this. You guys tell me where you come down on this. I bought really good bottled water for my house, and it's bottled, like it's in a glass bottle. It's like a Sparkletts bottle. Wow. It's the good stuff. It's heavy. Of course, it's a big glass bottle. It's like it's hard to get it to your porch. It's hard to get it from the porch to the thing, and getting it capsized on the thing. And I started noticing that I was going through a bottle every like 2 days, you know. And what I was noticing is people bring in these big fucking Camel jugs, like they're big hopper, 1 liter, whatever, and they're like topping it off before they leave, you know. And so I said to Olga and Peter, who was like doing a lot of sucking off the bottled teat over there, I said, over there in that sink, I got a good filtered water system. It's a nice filter. It's not as good as the bottle, but if you're going to top off your basically your tanker that you're taking with you on the road or whatever throughout the course of the day, hit the filter thing so I don't have to change the bottle every 2 days. So that was kind of my decree. Now you could say it was a little like, but it's like you these big like 500 milliliter things in and like ka-gong, 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 ka-gong. It's like it's Friday. I'm going mountain bike riding tomorrow. Ka-gong, ka-gong, ka-gong. Okay, hit the filter.
But are you changing the bottle?
Oftentimes, I'm changing the bottle.
Ellen is not changing the bottle.
But also, what happened was because of this, the 4 bottles you get for 3 weeks, it was like you get 5 bottles for 2 weeks or something like that. I noticed we're out of the bottles. Like, it's like, what happened to our ratio? And what happened to the ratios? Everyone was sucking off my glass bottle. So Yes.
Are they, either way, this is wrong, but are they finishing off opened bottles, or are they opening a new bottle to top off theirs? You know what I mean? Like, is it like, oh, this one's open, I'll just dump this in here versus new one?
You mean like jug bottle,
We're talking
right?
big 5-gallon Sparklets-y glass, big jug bottles.
Okay. I misunderstood. I thought you were going like Panna or something like that.
No, it's the big glass Sparklets, whatever, pain in the ass. Super heavy, by the way. I do love, I love me some like real outback kind of engineering. Like all these big glass bottles, they're dropped off on the porch, but it's a good long hallway to get from the porch to the kitchen. And every once in a while I'll walk in there and Olga has one of the bottles on a beach towel and she's just dragging the beach towel and the bottle down the hardwood floor. And I'm like, yep, I love it. But once you, when you want to rehydrate, hit the filtered shit, bitch. That's the way I roll. So I'm kind of like Ellen.
Yeah. I guess if you didn't say bitch, maybe.
Yeah.
She'd be down.
Well, it rhymed with Britta. You know, I was doing alliteration. Hit the Britta, bitch.
You're on a roll.
Yeah, I was on a roll. Don't stop him when he's on a roll. Yeah, Ellen. All right. Now, Ellen is going to address this very soon.
She says she is. And
Right.
remember, one of, the onslaught of gripes people tweeted about her. One of them was from a girl who was just her waitress at a restaurant. She didn't work for Ellen, but according to her, Ellen tried to get her fired because when she presented the food to them, she had chipped nail polish. So Ellen may have some Howard Hughesy stuff.
Usually there is an element of that. You do notice everything, and what you notice bugs you. I'm in that club a little bit. So the question is, when Ellen gets out there and addresses this, how much internalizing, how much people are they're jealous, they're disgruntled, I paid these people good money. How many does she have as a guest on that show? Does she have Michelle Obama come on and talk about what a great and wonderful host she is and how much she's done for the community? Like, what is the angle? We talked about this before. Does she go into rehab? What is the angle here?
Remember the letter she wrote to her staff, like the internal memo was my part in this was I trusted the right people to do their job and I fired them. So I would imagine it would probably be more of that.
Yeah.
But she's going to do, because it's popular now, right? You have to do a little bit of that, but I did look in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw looking back at me. And I know
she'll give it good lip service.
Right, but what you do is you shroud it in, I try to do so much for so many people. I get so much on my plate that sometimes I realize I can be a little bit short in my attempt to do so much for so many. There's a sort of a thing where you kind of, you're like,
someone needs to put you in touch with her. That's good.
Are you putting yourself down, or you create so many jobs and you feel so responsible for everyone and their livelihood. And sometimes you get too invested and you get a little emotional, and that's on me. That's my fault because I care.
I care too much.
I care too much. I get too invested in the people and I care so much about them. And I realize I should so there's a way of kind of doing the mea culpa thing, but it's not really, it's kind of a compliment,
Yes, that's good. And remember a few years ago, I don't know if it was within my tenure here, I can't remember. I think it was. Remember when she basically tried to throw that whole animal rescue under the bus? And they came out and they're like, no. So I think she's kind of used to wielding her popularity with a bit of an iron sword. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was like, she adopted one of the animals. She didn't want it. She gave it to her makeup artist. And part of the rule for the rescue is like, it's not yours to give. If you can't take care of it, you give it back to us. So they went and got the dog, and she went on her show and destroyed that rescue organization for, ripping this puppy from the hands of crying children. And I was like, you didn't have to do that to them. You have to do them dirty like that. They're a nonprofit. They're trying to save animals.
Well, if any kids are listening, here's the lesson. Being nice is a huge fucking time suck. And then eventually they find out you're not nice, and then they crucify you. So might as well just be a douche from Jump Street.
Amen.
Please, kids.
Breaking news. News alert. I just got on my phone. This in 20 seconds. LA Times headline. LA County walks back Halloween ban says trick-or-treating not recommended. So there's a long article about it, and I'm sure that'll all be made clear to us tomorrow.
I think they got a lot of pushback, and somebody went like, because I think what you have to balance is a sort of crazy overreach mixed with full-fledged rebellion. Like people's going, fuck it, I'm going to the streets. Right. Here is the opposite of breaking news. The very antithesis of breaking news. I was listening to the song, "Button up your overcoat when the wind is free. Take good care of yourself. You belong to me." It's probably a song from the 30s or the 40s even.
Probably 40s, yeah.
And they're telling you all the things to do to take care of yourself. And they want you to eat an apple because, eat an apple every day. 1929.
Oh.
Then there's a part that goes, eat an apple every day, go to bed by 3. 3?
AM or PM?
3. You're fucking junkie if you're going to bed. Like, if you're like, it's 2:55, my girlfriend wants me to go to bed. Like, on a Tuesday? Like, go to bed by 3. So I'm like listening and going, 3 a.m.? I mean, you're fucking full-blown junkie at that point. And by the way, she's asking you to go to bed by 3, which means you normally go to bed at 5, 5:45. Like you watch the sunrise every fucking morning. And I do understand that 3 rhymes with me, and 12 o'clock doesn't rhyme with me, and 11 doesn't rhyme with me. But I still would argue you got to pick a better time than 3.
Yeah, something about saying when, go to bed by 10.
Right. Eat an apple every day. Get in bed by 3. Get in bed. You might do a couple hours of reading.
Or if your mom's telling you to get in bed by 3, she might have Munchausen by proxy. My mom makes me go to bed in the afternoon. She says I'm sick.
I'm driving my car. It's like 3 in the afternoon. Could she want him to go to bed at 3? No. Have to be getting in bed by 3.
Bizarre.
I get it. It rhymes, but it's pretty late.
I wonder if a lot more, I mean, this doesn't make any sense, but did a lot more schedules in 1929 include like meat packing and garbage men and shit like that? We worked overnight and then you came home and got to bed by 3? Because my uncle is a garbage man. He would go to bed at 3 in the afternoon.
So you're thinking second shifters.
Well, yeah.
Shifters.
If they'd...
Oh, yeah, by PM, yeah.
Well, if she'd worked in, like, working a third shift at the munitions factory, get to bed by 3, like a little context, but she's just telling her boyfriend, it's like put a sweater on, eat an apple, and go to bed by 3, which is really fucking late, even by 1929 standards. So, but I was just listening going, what the fuck does 3 mean? And why is it 3? And then that's why I could never write a song. Because they'd go to bed by 3, take good care of yourself, you belong to me. And I go, yeah, it's good, but except for the 3. And they go, what? I'm just saying go to bed by, but who goes to bed after 3? Who is this person we're talking to? And also you're expecting this person to eat an apple every day and put an overcoat on. This person's a violent rapist junkie. If that's their schedule, I'm sorry. Unless, again, we've laid the groundwork to them working at the meat packing factory and working the third shift or whatever that is.
Is there a chance in hell this is a song for children and it's nap time at 3? But they could have said it. Take a nap by 3.
The other lyrics are be careful crossing streets, cut out sweets. Yeah. Is that a nursery rhyme?
I don't know. Maybe it sounds like a woman singing to her sweetheart, but maybe the origin story is I have a special needs child.
He's a menace to society.
Lay off your meat, you'll get a pain and ruin your tum-tum.
Oh, maybe they're talking to a 9-year-old. Was it from a musical? Oh,
no, it's just
Gina didn't say anything.
No,
in 4 seconds.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not from a musical.
No.
See if you can find out where the origin. It's probably some Jewish songwriting team or something.
Yeah, written by Ray Henderson. The music, the lyrics written by B.G. De Silva and Lou Brown. Published in 1928, performed later that same year by vocalist Ruth Etting.
It is featured on kidsongs.com.
Yeah, then Helen Kane sang it, and after Helen Kane sang it, her voice was the inspiration for the voice of the cartoon character Betty Boop.
Oh.
Well, maybe they're talking about a kid.
But they should say take a nap by 3.
Yeah, get in bed by 3. Yeah, take a nap by 3. Yeah, that would work for
Sinatra did a version of this? I got to hear that.
What else we got, Gina?
Big changes in the Oscars, and it's kind of convoluted, so I'll try and make it as simple as possible.
It's very convoluted.
Yeah, I mean, I have what I'm looking at right now is 3 pages just on this story, but I think we can make it a little shorter. So basically, they're trying to boost diversity in a big way, and it mostly affects Best Picture. They're going to creep it in the next couple years, but 2024 is when it really goes into effect. So I have the full breakdown of the new standards. I'm just going to give you an overview. So this will be for the 96 Oscars in 2024. A film must meet 2 out of 4 of the following standards to be eligible for the Oscar. So there's a standard A, an A2, an A3. It's crazy, Brian. I assume you've looked at this.
I've seen a little bit of it. I'm excited to hear your explanation.
Crazy. So at least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group, and they list all of the groups. They're talking Asian, Hispanic, Black, Indigenous, Middle Eastern, Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, other underrepresented race or ethnicity. So that's one category. General ensemble cast, at least 30% of all actors in secondary and more minor roles are from at least 2 of the following underrepresented categories. The list again, essentially.
But how would you do like a World War II movie?
I was going to say, Saving Private Ryan does not pass this test.
No. Alien wouldn't pass. I mean, if Sigourney Weaver, but she's pretty white. I don't know how that works. Well, they do in
other categories. They do get into deaf or hard of hearing or people with disabilities. So maybe you work it in that way. Main storyline or subject matter. The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. They list groups. Standard B, that was A. B, creative leadership. That's the behind the scenes stuff. Creative leadership and project team. To achieve standard B, the film must be one of the criteria below, and that's at least 2 of the following creative leadership positions, casting, cinematographer, composer, the list goes on, are from an underrepresented group. At least one of those positions must belong to the following ethnic group. They list all the ethnic groups.
They better pray that Jew becomes one of these groups. Oh, there's a lot of movies.
It is not listed. Other key roles, at least 6 other crew team and technical positions are from an underrepresented racial ethnic group. And they just list everything over and over again. Standard C, we went through standard A and standard B. Industry access and opportunities. To achieve standard C, the film must meet both the criteria, paid apprenticeship and paid internship opportunities. And the film's distribution or financing companies has paid apprenticeships, blah, 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 to satisfy the criteria below: women, racial, ethnic, LGBTQ, person with disability. Training opportunities and skill development for the crew. Now we'll go on to standard D. That's audience development. Ooh. And this is the last one. To achieve standard D, the film must meet the criteria below. Representation in marketing, publicity, distribution, blah, 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 must meet an underrepresented racial or ethnic groups on their marketing, publicity, distribution teams, and they list that. The first person I've seen, and I think August forwarded this to me, to publicly speak out against it was someone you just spoke to, which was Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
She has thoughts about it, and I'm sorry I didn't pull that up right away.
Well,
here it is.
I'll tell you the insidious part about all this stuff. I've always said we love sports for the meritocracy of it, the flat out meritocracy of it. We don't even know why we love sports as much as we're attracted to it. We're attracted to it because we're like, that guy's the best in the world, or that girl's the best in the world, and nobody's better than them. You know, I mean, it's like Muhammad Ali. It's like, I'm the best ever. I'm the best ever. It's like, yeah. And we love a meritocracy. We love, that's why we love a war. Like whoever wins the war, like you didn't get lucky. It wasn't because who your daddy was or whatever. We love it. We love sports for that reason. And in a weird way, the heavyweight champion of the world, that is the heavyweight champion of the world. Like there's nobody who can, and by the way, that's why MMA is so popular. Like that guy, heavyweight, mixed martial arts, he could beat up any human being on the planet in a bar fight. Minus weapons, he would win. And we love that. And so what started happening, we used to feel that way about the Academy Awards. Once in a while there's an argument, but like, best picture, best actor, best actress. Over the last few years, some doubt has been creeping in. Like, I wonder if they just did that because it was an all fill-in-the-blank, cast, or because the director was a female of color. Like, it started to creep in, and now it's arrived. So now whenever we see a movie win Best Picture, we're always going to go, yeah, but really? And that's what you don't want when you're putting together a sporting event or an award show or anything. You don't want, we kind of love that about a spelling bee. It's just the last person or occasionally 7 Eastern Indian folks standing are gonna win this thing. This now does that, and even if the best film is the best film, still going to have half the people kind of folding their arms with one eyebrow in the air going, or is that just because they made you do blah. And now you have no idea how much you're undermining what you're trying to do, and it shall just lose popularity as it goes on. These movies and the Academy Awards and all that just going to kind of coast to a stop. And also, no one ever really talks about how all this needs to be regulated and who's in charge of the regulation. Like, there's now going to be somebody assigned to the film set, to the whatever, that you're going to have to vet all this stuff through, sort of more paperwork, more money, more things that have to be paid out. Ugh. All right. Awesome. I just feel like before all this, the Academy was going pretty hard that direction. They were going pretty hard the inclusion direction, of color, the people, whatever.
Didn't we just have Oscar So White? Wasn't that in the last few years?
I guess, but before that, it seemed like it was pretty black. I mean, also, I will also sign off on this notion. Asians don't seem to be as interested in the cinematic arts as Jews. Okay, fine. There's probably not a lot of Jews working at Jet Propulsion Laboratories or whatever, except for the first one who came here from Germany, von Braun or whatever his name was. But save that. Yeah, save that. Oppenheimer and what was the von Braun guy? What was the other one? Well, either way, save that pioneering rocketeering Jew. This group is more interested in this art form or in this endeavor, such as, I don't know, engineering versus making films. I've accepted that. I'm okay with that. Yes.
And maybe we're a little, the industry's behind the times, in all these years saying, an all-female cast will never make a splash, or an all-Asian cast. And now we know that's not true. Like Crazy Rich Asians.
Right.
That movie was huge, and the people spoke with their wallets.
And we will watch. We'll watch just like we watch sports. It's fine. Yeah, Oppenheimer was atomic bomb, and Werner von Braun was Werner von Braun the rocket guy? I don't know. Max Beck. Yes. So von Braun was the rocket guy. So I was right. All right. Okay. Anyway. I've been saying this for a long time. Everyone thinks this is progress. It is not progress. You wait and see how all this shit pans out. Yes.
Gina's point is actually a great point about Crazy Rich Asians, because, yes, people will support great movies, you know what I mean? Like, a great movie transcends whatever. It can be about, gay or Asian or anything that isn't mainstream. I'm making air quotes here. But Crazy Rich Asians was not a good movie. It was a very, very middling movie, and people still flooded to see it, which is actually a better endorsement. Like, it didn't have to be great. It just had to capture that public zeitgeist.
Hello, people. Yeah. A little film called The Wiz from 1976. Thank you very much.
Well, and hello, Moonlight. I think Moonlight would qualify in 2024.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.